All right. I am hanging out with Chad. That's my first question. How the hell do you pronounce your last name? I know we've all heard it both ways. Is it Krueger or Kroger? I just want to hear it from your mouth.
One's a grocery chain and one is my last name.
Okay, so Freddy Krueger. I really thought you were going to go with that. All right. Well, that makes up for the shadow joke that you said earlier. So now we're square.
No, there was no joke. I was just trying to put shadow into a song that normally has the word shallow in it. So.
Yeah, I get that a lot. So, gosh, and I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm going to be totally unprepared for this because I've had a really busy day and I had
you don't have to be prepared. We can just talk.
Good, because I had to go shoot a video right before this, and then I had to rush back, and I was like, what am I going to ask him? And then I was like, you know what I'll ask? Do you ever feel like you're wearing way more hats than you used to? I mean, I don't know, maybe back in the day, you just got up on stage, you did your thing, and now it's like, I got to do this, this, and this, and this.
I think back in the day, we wore more hats because...
You think?
Yeah, because once we were managing ourselves, I was calling radio stations, pretending to be an independent radio promoter.
Nice.
And I'm like, hey, this is Chad calling from the Nickelback group. Just wondering if you happen to get our package and if you were able to take a listen to the single that we're pushing right now. And so I'm on with the program director of like whatever, somewhere in Canada. And, so I thought like a month of telemarketing experience just gave me everything I needed to talk to program directors.
But it wasn't like all crazy, social media back then. So
no,
now everything's like, you got to make videos, you got to do these shorts, you got to do your social media. And I don't know, maybe you have people for that. I don't happen to have people for that. Not all of it.
No. No, there's no stand-ins for me. Like when I have to be like, if I'm talking to whatever country, it's like, so as soon as I get done, I have to shoot liners for India. So like, hi India, thank you so much for, all the support with the new single. Can't wait to get there because we've never been there in 27 years in our career.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's no stand-ins for that. I have to do all that stuff.
Speaking of singles, I feel like a little bit of a bond here, just because was your first single Leader of Men? Was that the very first single, or was it something before that? Okay, because I mean, I feel like Leader of Men came out like right as I was just starting my broadcast career. So I just remember like, I don't know, that was a time in my life, and then How You Remind Me came out and just like blew up. But Leader of Men was always my favorite and still will be to this day.
Wow. Thank you. A song with no choruses, just 3 verses and then repeating the first verse more emphatically at the end.
Do you still play it in concert or no?
No.
You don't play that in concert?
No.
Am I weird then? Because I'm like consistently spiking it in, and like, I mean, I play it on Nothing But 90s because it did come out late 90s, like 99.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, I'll spike it in anytime I get a chance.
Really?
Here you're telling me you don't even play it in concert.
No.
Son of a bitch, so I'm never gonna see it live.
Because there's no recognition. Like people aren't gonna, no one's gonna hear that and be like, I know all the words of this song. Like we try to get everybody.
Except for me, I'll be the one girl out in the crowd singing it.
Weird. It's even weird to hear.
Yes.
Tell your friends not to think out loud until they swallow. Whisper things into my brain. Your voice sounds so low. Weird. That's weird.
Man.
Yeah, like that. So what was that? 24 years ago?
Yeah. We don't need to age ourselves, but yeah.
I don't have the choice. Mine's just kind of out there. So
Yeah. So new album, 10th studio.
Yep.
So
I think that's aging us. That's aging me right there.
yeah, right.
This is your 27th studio album.
Hey, you know, I mean, eventually you're gonna get there. I mean, unless you decide to quit your day job.
No, I don't think I'm gonna make 27. That's weird. I've never thought there was a finite number on how many we would make, but that's right up there with how weird it is when you think about, like, you know, that you pass the anniversary of your death every single year and you have no idea what it is.
Oh my gosh, why did you just say that?
I just thought I'd really tweak with your noodle there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, I've never thought that, and now I'm gonna
These are the
think
things.
about it.
These are the things you come up with when you're on mushrooms with your buddy, sitting around, you know, your friends sitting around a campfire, like, oh, check this out.
Okay, so best mushroom story. You tell me yours, I'll tell you mine.
Best mushroom story. Oh, okay. Well, that's funny because in that song that I was just playing for you, that you sprinkle in occasionally, called Leader of Men, we were all high on mushrooms and we were jumping off this cliff into the water. And my friend Kathy jumped in and she was like having serious problems. Like she couldn't, the current started sweeping her down. And I actually jumped in to save a girl, you know, and yada, yada, yada. And that's the, you know, and the ring that's on my hand was given to me by her. And to this day, we all sit around and dream of ways to get higher. That's all true. Right. So that story made it into Leader of Men, of me saving my friend Kathy's life because she was a poor swimmer. And I don't think she should have been, I don't feel like she should have been jumping off the cliff that day. And we were also really high. So
I was gonna say I didn't exactly make the best decisions when I was on mushrooms. I'm gonna say that much.
I don't know anyone who does.
So we were doing somewhat the same thing out in the woods, bonfire, doing mushrooms.
Yep. Best place to do it.
We decided to go like walking and we wanted to go explore. And then like it was really, really dark that night, pitch black. And we get up to like this just black area. And I'm like, nobody move. Nobody move. This is water. Don't go in the water. And everyone was like, okay, you know, that's cool. That's cool. Next day, we all get up. I was like,
it wasn't water. It was a cliff.
Well, it was just a grassy field.
Okay, there you go.
So,
it would have been crazy. Like right in my head immediately, like if you'd said a few people saw this water and thought we should jump in, and you said no, let's not do that. And then the next day you went out there and it was like that blackness wasn't water, it was a cliff, and we were all so high. That there you go. That's
unlike you. I did not save any lives. I just made an idiot of myself because honestly, thinking it was like you would have heard something. You would have heard like splashing up against the rock or something.
Something.
Like,
yeah. Something.
How the heck did I think that this black whatever abyss was water? I have no clue. Anyway.
There was we weren't on mushrooms, but we just smoked a joint. We just got really high. We were in New York and we were on like I don't even know. We're on like the 8th story. Like we're on this balcony. I think we're on like the 8th floor, and we're looking down, and we look across the street, and there's this dog, and this dog is like on the ground, and it's kind of like its leg keeps kind of moving, and it just looks like it's dying. And I'm like, hey, check out that dog, and everyone's like looking at it, and then people are just walking by it. Like it just means I'm like, what's going on here? Like I've heard, you know, New Yorkers can be cold, but there's just no way.
Right.
And so we start yelling down, hey, is that dog dying? And people are like looking up at us. We're like, what? And we like for like 15 minutes from this balcony, we all keep yelling, hey, is that dog dying? And someone finally goes, what dog? And we're like, right there. And they go, that's a bag. Like, okay, let's go inside. Let's go inside.
I could talk about getting high stories all day long. But you know, I should make this interview somewhat official. So new album, Get Rollin' out. 10th studio, we'll say that again. Did you guys start recording it during the pandemic?
Yes. Yep.
So what was that like with all the, or did
Well, we
you
just
not
didn't
care?
like, had we been clever or sort of realized that we were all going to be locked down for, a substantial duration, we would have jumped on this early. We were like 2 years in to lockdown. And then we finally went, hey, we should do something. like, like, you know, Taylor Swift's on her 11th lockdown album, and the Foo Fighters are on their 7th lockdown album, and we're, and their 4th movie, and we're just like, should we do something? I feel like we're, not using this downtime to the best of its potential. Like
Right.
we should do something. And guilt finally got the best of us, and I was like, let's start getting together a little bit here and there, and start chucking around some ideas. And we just did that. But it was nice because there was just no pressure. There was we didn't have a label at the time, and nobody was telling us to do anything. And so we just once in a while got together and started chucking around ideas. And then we rented a house up in Whistler. We went up there, and then we came up with this song called Those Days. And that was our kind of our nostalgic song for this album, because we had Photograph from back in the day, but Photograph was really about like us growing up in a town called Hannah, and it was really about, it was us. And Those Days is really about anybody who grew up in the 80s and just relating to all things that. And so like I start the song off by saying, remember when the streetlights came on and we had to be home? And everyone went, yeah. And I said, no, that should be the first line of the song. And so then we just took off from there, and away we went. And then it was just like, remember when Elm Street came on and couldn't watch it alone? It's like you were in like the 6th grade or something, 7th grade, remember every prank call we made in Star 69? Remember trying to hit 88 to go back in time? And we just started making all these heavy 80s references, right?
And 90s. Some of it in the 90s too.
Some of it in the
early
90s. Yeah, some of it, we're talking about standing in line for Guns N' Roses and stealing t-shirts from the mall and all the posters we had on our bedroom walls, and remember when they played Purple Rain at our first slow dance. Remember when we thought that first base was just holding hands? We just went down this long line of like what it was like to just grow up in the 80s. And so and that was a lot of fun. That was a ton of fun for sure. And then for the rest of it, it was just kind of like, it was, here's an idea from 2 years ago, and here's something I just came up with, and we just started going through the vault, or just whatever. But usually there's a time frame. Usually it's like, okay, the record's got to be done by this time, and here's the tour, and everything has to line up to this. And there was none of that. It was just absolutely none of that. It's just like, just willy-nilly. We could just record when we want, and if we're not feeling it, you can just hit pause. And it was, and we'd never really had that relaxed schedule before, so that was really cool.
You said that you didn't have a label at the time. Like, what happened with that?
Well, over the last little while, we would start doing like 1 album deals with labels. Like, okay, we'll record an album. We'll just like, we're not interested in doing a long thing. And then funny enough, we wound up signing back to BMG. And so there you go. There's a 2 album deal, I guess, with BMG, but we hadn't re-upped, so we were we're literally the biggest indie band on the planet.
You can just you can just keep doing that, like when you're ready to make a new album, you can be like, all right, we're dropping you, and then you can do it on your own time, smooth, relaxed, cool, and then be like, as soon as the album's done, be like, oh yeah, we're ready to jump back on the label train now. So
yeah, it's easier for them to drop you than it is for you to drop them. You're usually contractually bound to provide services at that point in time. Go make us music.
That's true. All right. Well, I'm gonna double checking our time, seeing if I'm not going over. Oh, Chad, since I wasn't prepared, what else do you want to talk about?
How are things in Springfield today? What's going on in Springfield?
It's a little bit stormy.
Little stormy.
Yeah, got some thunderstorms coming through.
We were cloudy all day today. We're starting to clear up here. I feel like
where are you at anyway?
I'm in Vancouver.
Okay.
I feel
I've
like
never been to Canada. I want to go.
You should go in the summer. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Don't visit in the winter.
I'm from Wisconsin, so I'm at least a little tiny bit close to the.
Yeah. You know what winter looks like for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I
felt like
here.
Since we were just talking about the weather, I just felt like here we go. I'll take you down memory lane. I felt like Les Nessman on WKRP in Cincinnati, and he starts doing this, and he's trying to do the weather to make it sound like he's in a helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got a little bit of traffic up on the.
Well, here in Missouri, we haven't gone into the fiery pits of hell yet, which should be any week now that we're heading into June.
We started off strangely enough, 2 weeks ago, we were in the fiery pits of hell. Everything lit on fire. British Columbia was on fire. Alberta was on fire. There was just fires everywhere. We had a little bit of rain and it quelled all that. That was nice. And now just waiting for summer to reappear.
Sorry, did Canada starting on fire make the news?
Yeah, typically. I mean,
or are people just like, Canada's on fire?
It's just sort of wow, British Columbia is so our summers have just turned into this really weird thing where we don't get any precipitation for 2.5 months, like zero. So every lightning strike causes this massive fire through the mountains. You can't get to it. There's no way to, so we can water bomb it and that's just about it. And then it just burns, millions of acres worth of great lumber. And it's really just unfortunate. And that is now that's our every summer existence. That's what it is. It's that's our natural disaster every single year. Some people have the earthquakes, some people have tsunamis. We get the fires. And we get
tornadoes.
You guys get the tornado. Yeah, you're in the belt. You're in the belt.
Exactly. Yep. Super fun.
That's scary. Oh, that's scary.
I know. Knock on wood, I have yet to truly be in one. I've been super near one, but not in one, and I don't want to be ever. Yeah,
it just looks like the bad guy in a Marvel movie is showing up to your town, and it's just like, whoa, it's really terrifying. Just to see the devastation afterwards is it's beyond words. It's so terrifying.
Yeah,
the power of nature.
Only an hour away from Joplin, and that tornado, over 100 people, like just nuts. I think that was 10. God, could have been longer than 10 years ago. I don't know. Sometimes I'm not good with dates. But a tornado came through Joplin and it was bad.
We got to get back on the light and bright train. We got to get light and bright here. Here we are on Q102, Springfield's rock station, keeping it light and bright.
Oh, well, for being most unprepared, that was a pretty damn fun interview.
There
we got to talk about shrooms.
Yep.
We talked about the weather. We talked about death. I think we basically covered everything.
We got them all.
We may have talked about a song that I love that you don't play anymore.
Yep. I think I even played it. I strummed some for you.
We got a new album out. People can just go get that wherever they get their music. And you're on tour, so I am at least going to mention the 2 shows coming to the area, which is July 20th. It's Thursday at the Walmart Amp. Super cool, cute little venue. Have you played there before? Do you remember?
We have not played there before. And I don't get to say that very often.
Well, I like that venue. And then August 3rd, which is another Thursday at the Hollywood Casino up in St. Louis. So got options for the city of Springfield to travel to go see Nickelback, to see them not play Leader of Men. So
you never know. You never know. We might get in there, and just to be a smartass, just to mess with you, we might just play that song.
All right. Well, the Walmart Amp is the one that I'll be at. So just throwing it out there. We've
got managers over my shoulder going, very limited tickets left for that show. Very limited tickets left for that show.
Oh, yeah, right. You're right. There are they told me that. So All right. Well, get tickets to that show. Get tickets to all shows. Chad is now going to play Leader of Men at every show, so we are good to go. So.
I'll let the band know.
They're gonna be like, son of a bitch, who did you talk to in Springfield, Missouri?
Yeah, you're like, no, actually Ryan would be ecstatic. Anytime we reach that far back into the band's history, he's like, there we go. All right. Something from the roots. Yeah. I'm like, all right, sure.
All right, Mr. Chad Krueger. So happy to finally have that knowledge.
There you go. Thank you so much.
It has been fun.
It has been, absolutely. Thanks for taking the time. I know you had a very busy schedule today, and thanks for making some time for me.
Appreciate it. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.